If you love stuffing, you are going to love this super easy casserole that's made with just 4 simple ingredients. This is the best comfort meal that can be whipped up on a weeknight, but it's fancy enough to serve on the weekend as well. Hi, my name is Christina. I am with eatingonadime.com. Today I'm going to show you how to make our chicken stuffing bake. And we cheat and we use a little stuffing mix, but here at Eating on a Dime, we're all about real food for real families. So we want delicious food, but we know that you don't have tons of time or energy in the kitchen. So we like to use little shortcuts so that you can still have great food for your family with a lot less effort. To find today's recipe, I have linked it in the description below, or you can always Google Eating on a Dime, chicken stuffing bake, and it will pull right up. Or go to eatingonadime.com and use our search feature and just search chicken stuffing bake and it'll pull right up for you. So before we get started, let's talk about the ingredients that you need for today's recipe. This is a chicken stuffing bake. I'm going to use 4 boneless, skinless chicken thighs. These are already thawed out. I do recommend to use thawed chicken for this recipe. You can use chicken thighs. I'm using chicken breast. Now I'm thinking, did I say thighs before? But I can't remember. But I'm using boneless, skinless breast. But you can use chicken thighs if you prefer. Just make sure that they're boneless and they're skinless. Then you will need 2 cans of cream of chicken soup. We have a homemade version. If you preferred homemade as well, you can whip that up. You'll need to make a double batch because we need 2 cans. These are about 10.5 ounces each, so approximately 21 ounces total for the cream of chicken soup. You can make our homemade. Go to eatingonadime.com, search cream of chicken soup, and it'll pull right up. Then you need a stuffing mix. I'm using stovetop instant chicken stuffing. This works great. This is awesome. This is going to give us that nice crunchy topping, and it's going to save us a lot of time because we don't have to make our own. Then salt and pepper. This is kind of optional, but I love to salt and pepper the chicken before I layer on the other ingredients. I think it really amps up the flavor. I like to grind my own. Use whatever salt and pepper you have. And then chicken broth, and I don't have it out, but we are going to use some milk as well. I just didn't want it to get too warm at room temperature. You are going to need about 1/2 cup of milk. So once you get all your ingredients and you're ready to go, you will need a 9x13 baking pan for this recipe, and we're going to bake it. So you need an oven. All right, let's get started. First, we're going to go preheat that oven, and then we're going to assemble this casserole. Preheat your oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. Now we're going to spray a 9x13 baking dish. I'm using a glass baking dish, but you can use metal or ceramic, whichever you have. We're going to spray it with a non-stick cooking spray, just to make sure that this is easy to serve. Perfect. You can rub it with olive oil if you don't have spray on hand. That's perfectly fine. Then take your chicken breast, and we're going to dice this into bite-sized pieces. So before I dice it, I like to kind of get the fatty parts off of the chicken just because it's not my favorite. I'm just going to trim that. And then we're going to just dice the chicken into bite-sized pieces. Based on your preference, I usually do about 1-inch size pieces. But again, it's bite-sized. You just want this easy to serve. So you want to dice it straight up, and then we're going to toss it into that baking dish. Stick into my cutting board a little bit, but that's okay. It was nice and cold. I had it refrigerated, so that's why it's sticking. There we go. Just dice it right in. So go ahead and prepare all the chicken and layer it right into that baking dish. Once the chicken's all diced up, layer it evenly in the bottom of your baking dish. Top the chicken with salt and pepper. I grind my own salt and pepper, so I just grind it right on top. If you're not sure how much to do, I would just do 1/2 teaspoon of each, and that'll work great. This just adds some flavor to that chicken underneath the sauce. So it's just a little bonus amp up seasoning here. I am using pink Himalayan salt. I'm addicted to it. It's my favorite, but any salt that you like will work. Okay, chicken is in the dish. We're gonna set that aside and we're gonna make the creamy sauce. To make the creamy sauce, you need 2 cans of cream of chicken soup. We're gonna throw that into a mixing bowl. And these are the 10.5 ounce cans. That's crazy. One had a pop top and one has needs a can opener. What are the odds? Getting one of each today. So if you could use cream of mushroom in this if you prefer, or cream of celery, that would work great. I'm trying to think about questions we've gotten on this recipe. Either one of those works awesome. I love the cream of chicken. I think it just goes well with the chicken and the stuffing topping. So if you're going to the store anyway, get the cream of chicken soup. I would tell you where my can opener's from, but it's driving me crazy. Couldn't get it all the way open, so yeah. I'm gonna use this to get it out. It has been around for a while, so it's probably time for me to get a new can opener. Okay, 2 cans of the cream of chicken in the mixing bowl, and you want to mix it with a 1/2 cup of milk. Made a little mess there, get that right on up. I'm gonna use that. You just wanna whisk it together just to make a nice pourable sauce. You want it to pour evenly over that chicken. So if you just did the cream of mushroom, it would just be too thick. Put this up. All right, then you want to take that soup mixture and just pour it as evenly as possible over that chicken. You can use your spatula to move it around. It does get hard because the chicken will move as well. So I try to do little clumps and then just move the topping around if I can. Our oven's ready, that's good. Perfect. Okay, now it's time to top with the stuffing. This is what gives it its name, the chicken stuffing bake. So you want to take the mixture and we're going to evenly, as much as possible, this is supposed to be easy, so don't stress out, sprinkle it on top. It smells great. Just leave it as is. I just like to cut the whole thing open so it comes out evenly as possible, and then sprinkle it right on top of that sauce that you put on the chicken. Now it's time to add the stuffing portion. This is what gives this recipe its name, chicken stuffing bake. So you can't have that without stuffing. For this recipe, we use stovetop stuffing, the chicken flavor, and it works great. Now, I haven't seen a lot of other brands out there, so you don't have a lot of options. Do not get the cornbread stuffing, but you can really get any flavor that you like. If you don't like the chicken flavor one, I think any of them will be great. You're just wanting that bread topping with all the delicious seasonings in there. So do not pay attention to the instructions on the box. Get rid of that. And then we're going to just cut open the top of this. And I recommend just cutting open the full top. And then we're going to sprinkle it over the top of our casserole. You just want to sprinkle it as evenly as possible and just kind of move around the top of it so that it's in as even layer as possible. The seasonings I find are usually at the bottom, so I usually try to get those well dispersed if I can. And then you can move it around with that spatula that we use to move around the sauce, but usually sprinkling it is sufficient. Then it's time to add the chicken broth. For this recipe, we use 1.5 cups chicken broth. We're gonna pour this over the top of the stuffing. Now this step is really important to get that nice, soft stuffing texture instead of just crispy, dried bread on top. So you want to pour it right on top and try to cover as much as the top as possible. Again, I just go back and forth, back and forth. And it will get a little soupy because you have extra liquid in your casserole, but that's completely fine and normal. All right, that's all that we need. Let's go ahead and get this ready for the oven. So that's how easy it is to assemble the casserole. Before we get it off to start baking, we do recommend that you cover it with foil, just because the casserole has to cook for the chicken to get all the way cooked through, and you don't want that stuffing to get too brown. So covering it with foil will prevent it from getting too brown on top. So just cover it and seal the top. All right, and it's ready to go in the oven. Place this in the center rack, and you're gonna wanna bake it covered for 30 minutes. Once it's baked covered with the foil for 30 minutes, go ahead and remove that foil. And we're gonna bake it for 15 more minutes. And that's just because we do want the stuffing brown, just not too brown. So we're gonna nice and brown that stuffing top. This is after 15 minutes. I'm just gonna pull it out and let it rest for probably about 10 minutes or so, just to cool off slightly, and then it's ready to serve. Then it's ready to serve. Let's talk about how to serve this. This is actually a very filling casserole with the stuffing and the chicken. You don't need a lot of sides. My favorite thing to do is make some peas or broccoli and stir it into the sauce, because the sauce is amazing and it's great dripped over those veggies as well. If you need something quick and easy, it's always great with a simple side salad, and you'll have a quick and easy meal at no time at all. If you have any leftover, just store it in an airtight container for up to 5 days. Look at this quick and easy recipe that everyone is going to devour. I cannot wait to try this. I gotta try it. I gotta get some of that stuffing crust. It's the best comfort food that's so easy to whip up in no time at all. Thank you so much for joining me today in my kitchen. Do not forget, I have linked this recipe in the description below. I hope you try it out. There's my new puppy, Rio. Say hi. I hope you try it out, and then let us know in the comments what you think about it. It's called Chicken Stuffing Bake. It's so easy to make, and I think your entire family's gonna love it. Do not forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss any more of our real food for real families here at eatingonadime.com. Thank you guys for joining me, and I will see you guys next time. I gotta go get to eating dinner. Bye, friends.